Hello and welcome to In Focus program. Today's topic of discussion is inflation down but not prices. Points of discussion will be background of the news, headline retail inflation, CPI versus WPI, high base effect, items displaying high inflation, where inflation recorded a downward trend, inflation risk in future and practice questions. First of all, moving on to the background of the news. The headline retail inflation rate in India experienced a significant drop to a 25-month low in the month of May. At the same time, the wholesale price index, that is WPI, plummeted into negative territory. Despite the overall decrease in inflation, many Indian consumers still face high prices for groceries and household items. Essential items such as cereals, milk, spices, prepared meals, snacks, sweets, education, personal care items, and household goods and services continue to put pressure on consumers' budgets. Now moving on to headline retail inflation. Headline inflation is the raw inflation figure reported through the Consumer Price Index that is released monthly by the Bureau of Labor Statistics or BLS. It refers to the change in value of all goods in the basket. CPI versus WPI. In India, the index which shows the inflation rate at retail level is known as Consumer Price Index or CPI, and WPI or Wholesale Price Index shows the inflation at the producer level. CPI is released by the National Statistical Office and WPI is released by the Office of Economic Advisor, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The base year for CPI is 2012 and the base year for WPI has been revised from 2004-05 to 2011-12 in 2017. Now let's discuss about high base effect. The high base effect, which refers to the impact of the corresponding base or period of the previous year, has helped lower the headline inflation number. However, inflation for certain household items remain high. The WPI linked inflation rate has sharply declined, reaching a 7.5-year low in May. This decline is expected to transmit to retail inflation with a time lag. Recent data revealed that wholesale inflation reached a 7.5-year low of -3.48% in May. It is driven by the combined impact of the high base effect, easing global commodity prices as well as lower prices for food, fuel and manufactured items. It is worth noting that the wholesale inflation rate had reached double digits during the period from April to September 2022, peaking at 16.63% in May 2022. Items displaying high inflation. Food and beverages category. It holds a weightage of 54.18% in the CPI combined. It has witnessed persistent double-digit inflation in cereals and products since September 2022. The inflation rate for this category peaked at 15.27% in March 2023. Milk and products category. It has experienced inflation rates exceeding 7% since September 2022, reaching a peak of 9.65% in February. Although the inflation rate for this category eased to 8.85% in April, it rose again to 8.91% in May. The inflation rates for spices and prepared meals, snacks, sweets have also remained stubbornly high. In the case of spices, the inflation rate has stayed in double digits except for May 2022, reaching a peak of 21.09% in January of the current year. In May, the inflation rate for spices stood at 17.9%. Prepared meals, snacks and sweets have also recorded inflation rates above 6% over the past year. Moving beyond food items, the inflation rate for household goods and services, although it eased to 6.05% in May from 6.46% in April and 7% in March, has remained above 6% throughout the previous year. Additionally, education, which carries a weightage of 3.46% in the index, has witnessed inflation rates above 5% since July 2022. The personal care and effects category has experienced a steady increase in inflation, with the latest reading for May at 9.2%, up from 9% in April. Now, where inflation recorded a downward trend, meat and fish category, oils and fats category, and fruits and vegetables. Inflation risk in future. Many economists anticipate a slight increase in inflation rates in June 2023, with concerns arising from the potential impact of a poor monsoon on food inflation in the second half of the fiscal year. There is a need to closely monitor the development of El Niño conditions, as they could lead to a subpar monsoon impacting crop yields and food inflation. Now it's time for the practice questions. First of all, prelims question. Consider the following statements regarding CPI and WPI. 1. WPI tracks inflation at the producer level and CPI captures changes in prices levels at the consumer level. 2. The changes in price of services is not captured by WPI. 3. The base year of WPI is 2004 and the base year for CPI is 2016. Which of the statement or statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, or 1, 2 and 3. And now mains question. The monetary policy of RBI, which is highly inflation based, needs a reform. Comment. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.